What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reviewing and breaking down The Flash Season 8, Episode 9. So the episode starts off with a little bit of a deeper dive into Iris's time sickness. So we see Dion helping Iris with her time sickness, and I feel like this is basically just a storyline to eventually get Iris off of the show for just a little while. Not forever, obviously, but Candice Patton hasn't really been seen on set since, I believe, episode 14 or something like that. So yeah, eventually this time sickness, I'm assuming, will cause Candice Patton or Iris West to leave the show for just a little bit. So Sue Dearborn also made her return in this episode, and I don't actually mind that. I think she's actually a pretty decent character, but honestly, it's really not the same without Ralph. I really wish they decided to keep him on the show. But anyways, Sue Dearborn had a storyline with Iris this episode, and honestly, didn't really care for that storyline that much. It wasn't really that interesting. But yeah, Sue Dearborn, I think, is still a pretty decent character. It was pretty cool to see her return once again. But anyways, then we get into the fire meta stuff. So Team Flash gets a hit of where the fire meta is, but when Barry arrives, he's too late, and the fire meta has killed somebody else. So basically, Barry describes the fire as a black fire, obviously referring to who the villain will eventually be called, the Black Flame. But Barry is somehow able to get a sample of the flame, obviously, in an effort to track down this fire meta. But then Chester is testing the sample of fire they got, and the sample just straight up disappears. And just like that, it seems like the Black Flame is there in the room with Chester. But then we find out Chester was only dreaming. This was a scene where I really felt like they were taking more of a horror approach to the episode, and I think they did a decent job of that in this episode as well. But pretty soon after that, we also get a very similar scene to that. This time, Chester isn't dreaming, and it looks like the Black Flame himself was actually there. But soon after Barry gets there to help, the Black Flame disappears. But something else we figure out is that Barry actually cannot put out the black fire that the Black Flame produces. Now, also, Chester said that he was able to see or at least sense who was in the Black Flame. He said it was the ghost of his father. Now, obviously, the ghost of Chester's father is not going to be the Black Flame. That would be extremely lame. That would be so bad. So yeah, obviously, Chester was wrong about that. So basically, the fire meta ends up entering Star Labs and is attacking, and we actually do still end up seeing Chester's dad, but obviously, as I said before, he's not the Black Flame. So the Black Flame is able to make people hallucinate, apparently, which sort of reminded me of Savitar back from Season 3 when he was hallucinating Wally West to make him see his mother, if you guys remember that. So maybe that's how Eddie ends up returning for the first time, and Ronnie, because of hallucinations. I think it would be way cooler if Ronnie himself was actually the Black Flame. I think that would be way more interesting. But we're going to get to see Ronnie regardless. He's going to be in 2 episodes this season, so all that's going to be great. However, as I said before, I think it would be really cool if he was actually the Black Flame. Now, guys, we also find out that the Black Flame doesn't appear to be an actual person, but the flames itself are the threat. Now, that absolutely makes zero sense to me, because in the episode synopses for this episode and, well, the next couple of episodes, they often refer to the Black Flame as he. So the Black Flame, he has to end up being a person, or at least because of a person, or, is the result of a person's actions. Because if flames are just the villain of this graphic novel, that would be super lame. If literally flames were the main villain, that would be awful. So yeah, I'm really hoping that they end up having Ronnie Raymond be like the Black Flame, or at least the cause of the Black Flame. I think that would be so cool. But now I want to talk a little bit more about The Flash Season 8. Now, this season is definitely better so far than Season 7, but I still have a few issues with the season. First thing is the storylines of the characters. Frost, in my opinion, hasn't been a good character since Season 3 and a little bit of Season 4. I'm not sure why she gets so much screen time and Caitlin doesn't. Caitlin's a way better character. Another character is Allegra. She's by far my least favorite character. I think she could appear like maybe every other episode or so for Iris's reporter stuff, but I definitely don't think she should be a regular on the show. And Cecile, I used to not like her very much, but now I think she's all right. And the last major thing is the fact that they are pushing this whole thing with Allegra and Chester, which I'd assume literally nobody cares about. I don't care about it at all. Like I said before, Allegra, I don't think she should really be a regular on the show. I don't think she should appear very much on the show. Chester is only on the show because he replaced Cisco. I feel like if Cisco never left, I feel like Chester wouldn't be a character. So I like Chester's role in the show. However, I just have a few problems with the characters in The Flash Season 8. Now guys, this episode actually didn't end up being as good as I thought it would be. I do like the horror element that they tried to add into this episode. However, they just put too much emphasis on Chester and Allegra. I don't care about either of those characters. They have to emphasize the Flash more on the show because the show is called The Flash. So I really think they just need to just take a step back from these side characters and just focus more on the Flash's storyline. I think that would make the season a lot better. And yeah, and based on the trailer for episode 10 of the season, it looks alright, I guess. They're having another episode with Frost as a main character for the episode, which I'm really not a fan of. As I said before, I really don't like Frost that much. So hopefully they put a lot more emphasis on the Flash in next week's episode. But yeah, I'm really hoping this Black Flame storyline gets a lot better as these episodes progress. As I said before, I really hope Ronnie Raymond's connected to it. But yeah, make sure you guys comment your thoughts on all that down below, this episode and the rest of the season in general, and I'll see you guys in the next video.